So what's going on, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of the Raider Critique. Let me go ahead and hop on over here, man. I am not looking to look at the YouTube studio. I'm looking to look at the stats of this wonderful game that was just played that we won in overtime, 40-34. Derek Carr went 25 and 36 for 295 yards at an 8.2 yard average, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 1 sack for 2 yards at a quarterback rating of 78.4 with a rating of 98.7. Geno Smith went 27 to 37 for 328 yards, 8.9 yards average, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He was sacked 3 times with a quarterback rating of 41.2 with a rating of 106.6. Rushing is where it really stands out. We stopped the run for the most part. We did give up 2 touchdowns. Kenneth Walker III had 14 carries for only 26 yards at a 1.9 yard average, 2 touchdowns. 14 was his long. Geno Smith rounded off the top 2 at 5 carries for 22, 4.4 average, 18 long. I know you guys are wondering why the hell I'm over here in Seattle when I should be over here looking at Josh Jacobs, who had 33 carries for 229 yards at a 6.9 yard average with 2 massive touchdowns and his longest being an 86 yard run. Zamir White also looked great running the ball, 2 carries for 28 yards, averaging 14 yards a carry. Amir Abdullah absolutely showed up in the run game. 3 carries for 16 yards, 5.3 yards a carry, his longest being 7. And Derek Carr rounds it off 2 for 10, averaging 5 yards a carry. His longest also 7. Now, Josh Jacobs, not only did he show up in the passing game or in the running game with a fucking career day, but he also showed up as the leading receiver on the team as well with 6 receptions for 74 yards at a 12.3 yard average, 28 being his long. He was targeted 7 times. Devontae Adams, 7 for 74 at a 10.6 yard average. He was targeted 11 times with 28 being his long. Mac Hollins showed up. He was targeted 5 times, had 4 receptions for 63 yards, 15.8 average, and a touchdown. Amir Abdullah on the second drive of the game, he had 3 receptions, he had a touchdown, and that was for 39 yards. Let's see. Yeah, his longest was 18. I do believe that pass for the touchdown was roughly about, I don't know, I want to say we were in the red zone, probably about 12, 13 yards out. And he ran a beautiful wheel route, went right up the side, and was wide open. Derek Carr dropped it right in there on him. So he wound up getting a touchdown pass. We had Foster Moreau, who was targeted 7 times. He only had 3 receptions for 33 yards, 11 average, but he also had a touchdown in the back of the end zone. Keelan Cole, 2 for 12. And Jakob Johnson, he was targeted once, but did not catch the ball. Now, we had Keelan Cole fumble the ball, but he recovered it. And then Chandler Jones also recovered a fumble. So we had 2 fumbles on the day that we wound up recovering. Denzel Perryman was our leading tackler, 9 total, 4 solo, and 2 of those tackles were for a loss. He also had a pass deflection. Deron Harmon, 7 total, all 7 of those tackles were solo with also a pass deflection. It actually should have been an interception, but he didn't control the ball as he went to the ground in the back of the end zone. Sam Webb, 5 solo tackles. Jayon Brown, 2 solo tackles, 5 total. And then Belial Nichols had a half a sack. He had 1 solo tackle and 5 total tackles. He also hit the quarterback once, which was on his half a sack. Rockison, 4 total tackles. All 4 of those were solo. Max Crosby, now this number stands out to me. He had 4 total tackles. 3 of those were solo. He had a sack and a half. He had the sack and a half, which wound up being the tackle for a loss, but 6 quarterback hits. 6 quarterback hits. Andrew Billings stood out as well. He had 4 total tackles, 2 solo, 1 sack, and of course that was for a loss. And then he also had 2 quarterback hits himself. Luke Masterson did well. He had 4 total tackles. Roger Teamer, 3 total tackles. All 3 of those were solo. Trayvon Moehrig, 3 total tackles, 3 solo. He also had a pass deflection. Kyle Pecco, a dude that I have not talked about this year, he had 2 total tackles, 1 solo. Josh Jacobs had 2 total tackles and 1 solo. Tyler Hall, the new secondary player that we picked up, I do believe that he's a corner. He had 2 tackles, 1 of those were solo. And Clelin Ferrell had 2 tackles and a hit on the quarterback. You know, the one thing that I did notice on this whole list is that Chandler Jones is not on here at all. And I saw Chandler Jones in the backfield pretty much all game long. Now, Denzel Perryman had an interception for 24 yards. Amir Abdullah had 3 kickoff returns for 73 yards, averaging 24.3 yards per return, with 33 being his long. Keelan Cole, 3 for 11. He actually muffed a punt. Luckily, he was able to jump on top of it. And I do believe that was the fumble that they're talking about up there in the stat, when he muffed the punt and had to jump on it, but it was 3 times for 11 yards. He averaged 3.7. Now, Daniel Carlson went 2 for 3 on field goals, averaging 67%, 36 yards being his long, and he went 4 for 4 on extra points. AJ Cole, 2 punts for 91 yards, 45.5 average. One of those punts was inside the 20, and 50 being his long. Now, if you look at their defense, Jordan Brooks had 16 total tackles, 7 of those were solo. Cody Barton had 12 total tackles, 8 of those were solo, a tackle for a loss and a pass deflection. Mike Jackson, 8 for 4. You see, they had to make all these tackles, and that's because our offense was moving the ball. The offense was, man, what I like to say, man, is that the offense was playing like a well-oiled engine. You know what I mean? Just a well-oiled engine. The offense was playing well, but it did sure start off very shaky. You know what I mean? It started off shaky as hell when we came into this game. And I want to salute everybody in the chat, man. I see y'all over there, bro. I just haven't hopped into it yet. You know how I do it over here. But we edged this game out 40-34. And we edged this game out because of Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs, 33 carries for 229 yards. He had 2 touchdowns on the day. He breaks 1,000 yards for the 3rd time in his career. But he also is now over, I think he's got like 1,159 yards or something like that. It's a crazy number. He is number 1 in the NFL right now in running backs. Now, that is saying something for a guy who did not get his 5th-year option picked up, who literally they brought in a whole bunch of running backs, drafted 2 new guys, brought in Amir Abdullah, Brandon Bolden, was saying that this was going to be a running back by committee, and this dude has literally carried this team on his back, especially in this game, to a 40-34 overtime victory for the Las Vegas Raiders. This dude needs to get paid. Not only on top of that, man, but this is his 5th 100-yard game this season. You know what I'm saying? This guy is balling out, man. Josh Jacobs is by far, in my book, the best running back right now in the league. I think he's better than I think he's better than Henry. I think he's better than anybody, pretty much, man. You got Henry over there. You got who is that cat? Eckler for the Chargers. You've got Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb over there in Cleveland. I think he's better than all those guys, man. And he's starting to show exactly the reason why he should have been the one to get paid instead of Darren Waller, who has barely seen the field this season. So, salute to Josh Jacobs. Without Josh Jacobs, we definitely don't win this game. Because without Josh Jacobs, man, I just have this feeling that Derek Carr was going to try to throw this game away for us. He just did not look good at the very beginning. The first drive when it came about, he threw the very first pass, the very first play. He throws an interception. I just looked at myself and looked at the TV. I was like, man, I hope to God it's not going to be one of those days. Because, man, I don't know if my heart can take one of these days. And then the second drive, we score with Abdullah after that beautiful sequence, that beautiful drive that was orchestrated by our offense. You know, we get Abdullah in the end zone, and then the third drive, we get another interception. And I'm holding my chest at this moment. But thank goodness Derek Carr was able to calm down. Now, there were some passes that were completely off, but then there was also some things that really looked good. You know, Derek Carr might not be 100% all the time. He might not be completely wrapped. You know, he might not play elite all the time, but at the moments when it matters, he does. And I can definitely say that I am glad that this dude is our quarterback. But man, there is times where he can just end up trying to give you a heart attack. Now, not only on top of Josh Jacobs balling out, Devontae Adams pretty much being where he needed to be. He had 74 yards receiving, didn't have a single solitary touchdown, but he did just enough. You know what I mean? He moved the ball. Mac Hollins scored a touchdown on a trick play, on a flea flicker of all things. So every time I sit here and I talk about Josh McDaniels and not running these trick plays, they run a trick play, and this time they score out of it. Kind of pretty much trying to tell me to shut the hell up when it comes to that. And hey, I respect that. You know what? You do what you got to do to win the game. And if you're going to run these trick plays and score touchdowns, you're not going to hear any complaints out of me. But Derek Carr, yeah, sometimes I wonder, you know. Oh, and by the way, you know, all the haters out there who said he hasn't thrown 3 touchdowns in a game, well, he did it this game. And he didn't even have to win us this game because Josh Jacobs won the game for us. Andrew Billings balled out. It might not show on the stats, but in the first quarter, the reason why Geno Smith was on his heels at first is because we are finally starting to get defensive line interior push, which we got it from Andrew Billings. He was disruptive all game, all up until the point when he got injured. I'm hoping that he's going to be okay, be able to return next week. But Andrew Billings was balling out, getting in there, rushing Geno Smith. He got a sack. He had 2 tackles. I mean, there's really, and 4, he was actually in on 4 tackles and 2 solo tackles is what he got. So, hey, I'm all for it, man. We need that interior defensive line push, because if we're not getting that interior defensive line push, then it puts more pressure on our outside guys, our Max Crosbys and our Chandler Jones and our Cleveland Farrells. The guys that we need to be also getting in there, but we also need to be getting some type of pressure from the middle. You know what I mean? And we can't be blitzing Denzel Perryman every time. So we've got to get it from the line. And I'm just glad to see that finally somebody on this defensive line, along with that new cat that we got from the Chargers, I believe his name is Guillory. Hey, he looks good out there too, man. We're starting to get some good interior push from our defensive line, and I'm starting to enjoy it. Defense stepped up this week. Defense really stepped up this week. When they needed to, they were there. You know, now our secondary still looks suspect, but then in most part, we did everything we could to shut them down without Nate Hobbs. And let's be honest, Geno Smith, Tyler Lockett, and DK Metcalf could have really had a heyday on this secondary if our interior guys, our Max Crosbys, our Chandler Jones, our Andrew Billings, Cleveland Farrells, if our homies are not putting pressure on the quarterback and hitting those running backs in the backfield, only giving up 28 yards to a dude who has been balling out, hey, it could have been suspect. It could have been really bad. They could have put up all kinds of yards on our defense, but our defense really stepped it up today. They had 66 total tackles, 3 sacks, 1 interception, and a fumble recovery. You can't ask for any more than that out of our defense. And I'm so damn proud of this team about the way they played, the tenacity, how they played with heart. Even after the 2 interceptions and the very lackluster start that we had, they kept fighting. And that defense kept fighting, and that offense kept scratching, and ultimately they came out with the victory, which pretty much has put us right here at Victory Monday. So, I mean, for real, man, you can't ask for no better than this. You've got to applaud everybody on this team. It's great that they're all coming together. It looks good out here. These last 2 games have looked good, and now we are finally on a 2-game win streak for the first time this season. Now, the reason why I'm doing this early is because I'm jumping on again with Hardcore. And if you guys would like, you could follow me over to the Hardcore Raider YouTube channel at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we're going to go ahead and go over this game. I'm going to go over it with my brothers Hardcore and Grimy Raider Dave. Watts will not be making it tonight, but I'm sure that by the next weekend or by the next time we have another show, I'm sure Watts will be there. But you know what we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about all the keys to the game, and we're going to talk about why we won the game, which we all know why we won the game, but we definitely got a certain running back for this Raiders team that we need to give our flowers to. So we're going to definitely do that, and I hope to see all of you there, man. So I'm going to hop on over here to the Shield, man, which also means I'm going to hop on over into the chat because, well, I missed all you. Everybody, what's going on, man? Thank you for coming back to another episode of the Raider Critique. I'm your host, Raider Gun, and it's been an absolute fantastic week. Robert Pena, Dirty 30, NorCal Raider Jesse, Van City Raider. Man, it's good to see all y'all here, man. Circus Raider. Herman Munster, my very first ever subscriber, man. Hey, thank you for showing up, man. Hey, I appreciate all y'all being here. Raider Ben, man. What's going on? Dirty Low. Man, all y'all up in here, man. All my brothers and sisters are up in here for the Raider Nation, man. And I appreciate all y'all for stopping in. Thank y'all so much for, letting me grace your television screen or your phone screen for any amount of time. Because I know for one, man, there's just like Raider Dirty says, bro. I mean, there's a million things you could be watching on YouTube. And just seeing y'all that you would rather be here watching me just really warms me like, nothing I've ever felt in all my life, man. I'm glad to be out here to entertain every single one of you. And, bro, I mean, this was a hell of a game. Like, on the anniversary of Bo Jackson running back in 1987, running all over the Seattle Seahawks back when they were a division rival, for Josh Jacobs to come out and exceed that on the anniversary when Bo Jackson did that, that was epic. Epic and fate is what I would like to say. That offensive line did well. You know what I'm saying? They blocked. I've always said it, man. I think we have a really good run-blocking offensive line. When it comes to pass blocking is when they become suspect. But, man, this offensive line can sure run block. And Josh Jacobs, man, that guy is built like just an absolute, like a Mack truck. I mean, you saw the stiff arm that he gives on his first touchdown. He just shoves dude right off him. He's like, get off me, fat boy, and just throws him right off him, dude, and tramples right into the end zone for his first touchdown. I mean, he's playing with heart. The dude is an absolute beast. I hope, and Q said it best on Locked On Raiders today, man. We need to go ahead and just throw that dude a contract right now. Just throw it to him right now, man, because there's no reason to even try to let him test the open market. Now, his agent and he can sit there and say, no thanks. We want to go ahead and check it out. You know what I mean? We want to go out and check out free agency, but at least throw that offer out there. You know what I mean? Just do it. Now make like Nike, Dave Ziegler, and Josh McDaniels and just do it. For real, man. Just go ahead and throw that dude a contract because he is absolutely needed. And, I mean, literally, man, that's our identity. Our identity runs through Josh Jacobs. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely need to keep that guy for real. So anyway, yeah. My brother, Raider Pena. It's good to see my mod in here, man. I'm glad to see I ain't had no porn bots. But that's a good thing, actually. It just goes to show me that I'm not using certain words that key in on those people from coming in here. What's going on, Raiderette? It's good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. But yeah, man, this is pretty much your post-game episode for Week 12. And we've got Week 13 right around the corner. Gonna have to go ahead and take a look at that game. To be honest with you, man, all of these days have been running together. Who are we playing next week anyway? It'd be nice to know because I can't remember who in the hell we're playing next week. Matter of fact, I got the schedule right here in front of me. It's the Chargers. So we got to go against the motherfucking Super Chokers next week. So, you know, we'll have a pregame for that. You guys already know how I feel about them. I can't stand the Chargers, man. They're my most hated team. And, you know, I pretty much consider them our little brother, pretty much our whipping boy, if you don't mind, you don't mind me saying. Because that's pretty much what we wind up doing to these cats the second time around. Hopefully they don't sweep us. I think that with us playing as well as this team is playing right now, I think we're going to give the Chargers a run for their money, that's for sure. So anyway, I thank all y'all for stopping in, man. And, hey, don't forget to go to the Hardcore Raider channel at 7:30 Central Standard Time, where we're going to be doing a whole breakdown of the game from yesterday with my boys, Hardcore Raider and Grimy Raider Dave, for the Hardcore Raider Nation podcast, man, right there over there at the Hardcore channel. And what's going on, Cash Lord, man? It's good to see you, dude. It's good to see you. I got blasted in fantasy this week. I did. I got blasted. It ended my 9-game win streak. And I do believe that it wasn't Cash Lord who beat me, but I'm sure Cash Lord was sitting back there watching me lose, kind of smirking to himself, because he's real close into catching me at first. So, anyway, what's going on, Joel? Thank you for stopping by, man. If it's your first time here, don't let it be your last. Hit that bell for notifications and sub to the channel. Hell, even share this content, man. It helps the algorithms. And hey, it doesn't. Oh, by the way, everybody who I hit up in the for the chat for the patches, you know, they were in the mail today. So everybody who wound up talking to me on Instagram, or mostly Instagram or email, if I told you that I sent you a picture of your patch in your envelope, they were mailed out today, so they should be getting to you sometime soon. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here, man. I got to go get prepped for this other show, but I'd like to go ahead and spend some family time first before I do. But, you know, we'll move on to the Chargers. It's good to see another W and a 2-game win streak from this Raiders team. And I think that, you know, hey, let's go ahead and pay Josh Jacobs, man. He deserves it. If anybody on this team deserves it, it's him. So like I said, always, man, before we go ahead and get on out of here, I'll see you guys on the post-game video. Hell, I'll probably see you tonight on the Hardcore Raider Nation podcast at the Hardcore Raider channel right here on YouTube. It's Raider Nation for life. Let's get after these chokers.